Now, the next chapter which we are going to revise is the chapter of import procedure. Basically, it is importation, exportation, and transportation of goods, where we are going to revise import procedure, export procedure, transit, and transshipment. Sir, import procedure. What happens in import procedure? Everyone over here, we are going to learn the procedure for importing the goods, wherein US port say India port mein goods are coming, then sir, from US to India, when goods are coming, how will they come? When they come in India, how are we going to clear all those things? We go ahead and learn. The first section which comes when you are getting goods from outside India to India is section number 29. Section number 29 goes ahead and says, whenever you are getting the goods into India, the landing of a aircraft or calling in case of ship should happen only at a custom port or a custom airport or a land custom station. Always remember, whenever you are coming, please come to a custom port, custom airport, or a land custom station. There is exception if you are compelled by accident, stress of weather, or any other unavoidable circumstance. Then you can come at a port other than a custom port or a airport. But when you come to a port other than a custom airport or a land custom station, then person in charge. Who is the person in charge? Person in charge in case of a vessel is the master. Aircraft का केस में commander or pilot. Rail का केस में conductor or guard. In case of other conveyance, it is the driver. The person in charge shall go ahead and immediately report to the nearest custom officer or the officer in charge of a police station, and should go ahead and show him the logbook that, sir, see the logbook, we are coming from here, today we have reached here. That logbook you should go ahead and show him if they are asking you. Then also you shall not, without the consent of the officer, unload any goods or allow anyone to depart. You should not go ahead and allow anyone to depart, or you should not allow anyone to go ahead and unload the goods. But if it is necessary for the reason of health, the ship is on fire, then Baba, if it is necessary for the reason of health, safety, or preservation of life or property, then Baba, tell the people to take their goods and run. Nothing shall prohibit departure of crew, passenger, and removal of goods. That time to Baba, just take your goods and run. Okay, sir. The next section is whenever you are coming, section number 30 goes ahead and says you should go ahead and delivery of arrival manifest, import manifest, or import report. Who will go ahead and deliver, sir? It shall be delivered by the person in charge or his agent. In case of vessel or aircraft, arrival manifest or import manifest should be given prior to arrival. It is to be presented electronically. In case of vehicle, import report should be given within 12 hours post arrival, and it is to be filed manually. Sir, if I don't go ahead and file, then delay in filing without cause will attract a penalty up to rupees 50,000, and belated filing will be allowed only on valid grounds. Sir, if I want to go ahead and do any amendment in the import manifest, import report, then Baba, amendment shall be allowed, but only if the proper officer is satisfied that the import manifest or the import report was incomplete, incorrect, and there is no fraudulent intention. Okay, sir. Whenever you are coming, you should also go ahead and file. You should also go ahead and file passenger and crew arrival manifest and passenger name record information. Sir, who will go ahead and file? The person in charge or his agent will go ahead and deliver to the proper officer before arrival in case of vessel or aircraft, and upon arrival in case of vehicle. Sir, always remember, delay in filing without cause can attract a penalty up to rupees 50,000. Okay, sir. Now, once you go ahead and arrive in India, the person in charge of the vessel should go to the custom officer and tell him, sir, please go ahead and give me an entry in word. Section number 31 talks about entry in word. What is an entry in word? An entry in word is a written permission to unload the goods. Master of the vessel shall not permit the unloading without an entry in word. The master should not allow anyone to unload the goods unless entry in word has been granted. No entry in word is given without arrival or import manifest. If you don't file your import manifest or you have not filed your import manifest or arrival manifest, then entry in word shall not be given by the custom officer. Entry in word is not applicable. It is not required for unloading crew member, passenger baggages, mail bag, animal, perishable and hazardous goods. So in case of champions can get down without entry in word. Who are champ? C for crew member, H for hazardous goods, A for sir, animals, M for mail bags and P for passenger baggages, crew members or passenger, P for passenger baggages. Okay sir, entry in word is only applicable in case of vessel. It is not applicable in case of vehicle or aircraft. Okay sir, I have got the entry in word in case of vessel or in case of vehicle and aircraft. Now unloading will start. So sir, unloading of goods, section number 32, 33 and 34 will come into picture, which goes ahead and says unloading only the goods which are told in the manifest or the report. Unload only those goods which are told in the manifest or the report. Secondly, unloading should happen at approved place only. Thirdly, unloading should happen at the supervision of the officer. The officer will stand and see you told toy guns you are getting. Actually, you have got toy guns or might be you have got actual guns. So he will go ahead and watch. Okay, sir. Then, now if the mother vessel can't come to the port, then what can be done? Small boats can be used. These boats can be authorized by the proper officer. That authorization which is given to this boat so that it can carry the goods up to the port is known as a boat note. Section number 35 goes ahead and says no mother vessel say goods will be unloaded in a small boat unless the small boat is being accompanied by a boat note. These small boats are known as small boat or barge or lighters. Okay, sir. Now, always remember, unloading will happen only during the working hours and on working days. But if you want unloading on no unloading on holidays, section number 36 says no unloading on holidays or after working hours. But if you want unloading on holiday or after the working hours, you want urgently your goods, then you have to give a prior notice. Plus, you have to go ahead and pay merchant overtime fees. And also remember, merchant overtime fees pay, there is no GST. Sir, however, merchant overtime fees is not applicable for unloading of bags and mail bags. Okay, sir, once the unloading is done, the ship ka master will go ahead and tell, sir, I am going, and the officer will give him a departure order and he will leave. No conveyance to leave without a departure order from the proper officer. Sir, now the goods are unloaded. Once the goods are unloaded, they will remain along with the custodian. Section number 45 says goods after unloading till clearance shall remain with the custodian. He shall go ahead. The custodian will go ahead and keep the records. He will not permit the removal. And always remember, the custodians who are appointed under section number 45 are the custodians who are liable to pay the duty if the goods are being pilfered. Okay, sir. Now the goods are with the custodian. How do I go ahead and clear? You have to go ahead and file a bill of entry. So here comes the second stage now. What will happen now? Sir, the importer will go to the IceGate ka website online and he will go ahead and file a bill of entry electronically. Always remember, if you want to clear it for home consumption, you will file a bill of entry for home consumption which is white in color. If you want to go ahead and send it to the warehouse, then you will file a yellow bill of entry. If you want to clear from the warehouse, then you always go ahead and file a ex-bond bill of entry which is known as green in color. Sir, what is the time limit to go ahead and file bill of entry? Very important. Amendment is there. If today the ship is going to arrive, by yesterday midnight, your bill of entry should be filed. Bill of entry to be filed before the end of the day, including holiday, preceding the day on which the conveyance arrives at the clearance port. So the conveyance is going to arrive today, then by yesterday, your bill of entry should have been filed. Board may prescribe different time limit for presentation which shall not be later than the end of the day of such arrival. Sir, if the board wants, the CBIC can go ahead and say that you can go ahead and present the bill of entry. Today the vessel has arrived, by today end of the day. That can be allowed by the board. Sir, is prior bill of entry allowed? Yes, Baba, prior bill of entry is allowed 30 days prior to the estimated date of arrival, and after the goods have been unloaded, if you could not clear the goods because you did not have the document, then you can tell the officer to temporarily go ahead and put the goods in the warehouse without warehousing provision being applicable on you. Basically, you don't have to give any bond, warehousing bond, etc., and your goods will be transferred to the warehouse. That is known as warehousing without warehousing. Okay, the importer goes ahead and files bill of entry. He basically goes ahead and does self-assessment, pays the duty. When is the duty to be paid? The day you are going ahead and presenting the bill of entry, on that day you have to go ahead and pay the duty, and duty is to be paid on self-assessment basis. Sir, if I don't pay the duty on the date of presentation of bill of entry, late duty means belated payment will attract interest at the rate of 28%. Always remember, when you are going ahead and presenting your bill of entry, you need not go ahead and pay the duty if deferred payment is allowed to you. Sir, deferred payment of duty is allowed to whom? Deferred payment of duty means postpaid facility, Baba. Sir, postpaid facility means first you clear, later you can pay. So, sir, who are the people who are eligible for deferred payment facility? Deferred payment facility is allowed to authorized economic operator tier 2 and tier 3 and authorized public undertaking. Sir, what is the due date for going ahead and making the payment? For the bill of entries which are returned between 1st to 15th, 16th is the due date. For the bill of entry which are returned between 16th to the last of the month, 1st of the next month is the due date. For the bill of entry which are returned between 16th to 31st March, 31st March is the due date. Always remember, if you don't go ahead and pay on the due date, interest at the rate 15% shall be charged. Interest at the rate 15% per annum shall be charged. Okay, sir. So, when the deferred payment facility will lapse, if you lapse the payment on due date greater than once in 3 months, then they will go ahead and withdraw the deferred payment facility. Okay, sir. Point is clear. Always remember, when you go ahead and file your bill of entry, you will do the self-assessment and make the payment, or deferred payment facility will be allowed to you. Or no, additionally, they have also gone ahead and told, whenever you go ahead and make the payment, you have to make the payment electronically. If electronic payment is mandatory, e-payment is mandatory, if you are a person who is under the accredited client program, or you are going ahead and filing a bill of entry where the duty payable is greater than equal to 10,000 rupees. Okay, sir. Now, after making the payment, file the bill of entry, made the payment, now visit the customs. Along with your bill of entry, bill of lading, invoice cum packing list is there, or certificate of origin, payment challan you keep with yourself, make a file, go to the officer. Officer will go ahead and do the verification. If he will go ahead and do the inspection of the goods and the verification of the document. If he finds the self-assessment correct, then he will go ahead and give a clearance order. Take the clearance order, go to the custodian, take your goods and go home. But if the officer goes ahead and finds that the self-assessment is not correct, then the custom officer will do the reassessment. Now you have to go ahead and pay the differential duty within 1 day. Pay the differential duty, go to the officer will go ahead and give you a clearance order after checking that the goods are not prohibited goods and you have gone ahead and paid all the duties and charges. He will go ahead and give you a clearance order. Take the clearance order, go to the custodian will give you the goods, take the goods and go home. Sir, also there is one section number 48 which goes ahead and says, if after unloading you don't clear your goods, if goods are not cleared for home consumption, or you don't put them in the warehouse, or you don't go ahead and transship them within 30 days from unloading, then the custodian who is there, custodian may sell. The people who are having the custody of your goods, they can go ahead and sell the goods after giving a notice to the importer and with the proper officer ka permission. Always remember, animal, perishable and hazardous goods may with the proper officer ka permission be sold anytime. Arms and ammunitions, if they are there, they may be sold at such time and place in such manner as the central government may direct. Here we are done with import ka procedure. Very important, the bill of entry ka filing के लिए the time limit has been changed. What is the time limit to file bill of entry? to be filed before the end of the day, preceding the day. So today, if the vessel is going to arrive one day early, you have to go ahead and file the bill of entry. But if the board wants, board can go ahead and say, today the vessel is going to arrive. By today, end of the day, you should file your bill of entry. Or, sir, prior bill of entry, 30 days prior to arrival is also allowed. Here we are done with your import procedure. The next is export procedure. What happens in export, sir? The exporter will first of all, under section number 50, go ahead and file a shipping bill in case of sea or air export. Sir, if he wants to go ahead and export by land, he has to go ahead and file a bill of export. It is to be filed electronically on the IceGate ka website. Once the shipping bill or bill of export is filed, along with that, if any duty is there, the exporter will have to self-assess the duty and pay the export duty. After payment of the export duty, he will go to the customs. He will visit the customs along with shipping bill, bill of export, invoice and the payment challan. The custom officer will go ahead and do the inspection of the goods and verification of the document. Now, if the goods are not prohibited, you have paid all the duty and other charges. If he is satisfied, then he will go ahead and give you a clearance order, and that is also known as a let export order. Now, if the proper officer is not satisfied, he will go ahead and do the reassessment and he will tell you to pay the differential. Pay the differential, he will give you a let export order. Also remember, nowadays the custom automated system goes ahead and gives you automatic clearance order based on the risk evaluation. That is, you don't have to go to the custom code. Automatic clearance orders are being issued nowadays based on your risk evaluation. Okay, sir, I have got my let export order. Okay, one side you got your let export order, the other side, this ship ka master who is there, he will go ahead and ask the custom department, sir, please go ahead and give us entry outward. Entry outward means it's a permission to load the goods and go. So the customs officer will go ahead and give him an entry outward. Now, always remember, the master of the vessel will not go ahead and take the loading unless he has the entry outward. Entry outward is not required in case of bags and baggages and mail bags. Entry outward is only required in case of ship. Always remember one thing, entry inward or entry outward is only applicable in case of vessels. Okay, sir. Now what will happen? Now, ship ka case mein the master has got the entry outward, or aircraft and vessel, aircraft and vehicle. Now loading will start. Loading of the goods on the conveyance for export. Section number 40 says, person in charge to take loading only if the goods are accompanied by shipping bill or bill of export. So you want to send your goods, give your shipping bill, give your late export order, give your bill of transshipment, and plus duly passed by the proper officer means the let export order you should have. So you should give me the let export order, you should give me your shipping bill, only then I will take the loading. Loading will start. In case of baggage and mail bag, there is no let export order. Mail bags and baggages can be loaded if they are permitted by the proper officer. When loading is happening in the vessel or in the aircraft or in the vehicle, some sections come. What are the sections? Section number 33 says loading should happen at approved place. Section number 34 says loading should happen only under the supervision of the proper officer. Section number 35 says, sir, whenever you are going ahead and loading, sir, no goods shall be waterborne unless they are accompanied by a boat note. You can use small boats also accompanied by a boat note. And section number 36 goes ahead and says loading will not happen on holidays. Loading will not happen on holidays or after working hours. But if you want to load after working hours or on holidays, you have to go ahead and pay merchant overtime fees. Merchant overtime fees is not applicable in case of baggage and mail bags. Okay, sir. Loading is done. Then always remember, once the loading is done, the person in charge, in case of ship, the master, in case of plane, the pilot or the commander, in case of rail, it is the conductor, it is the guard who is there basically. Rail ka case mein, it is the conductor or the guard, and in case of vessel, in case of vehicle, it is basically the driver who is there. They have to go ahead and file one departure manifest before departure. So section number 41, person in charge or any other person who is being notified by the central government before departure has to go ahead and file a departure or an export manifest. In case of vessel or aircraft, it is to be filed electronically, and in case of vehicle, it is known as an export report, which is to be filed manually. Also, section number 41A goes ahead and says passenger and crew departure manifest has to be filed. Passenger name record information also has to be given before the departure. If there is any delay in filing of the departure manifest or the passenger and crew departure manifest, then always remember, penalty less than equal to 50,000 shall be charged. Okay, sir. Point is clear. Now, once you go ahead and give him the departure manifest or the passenger and crew departure manifest, then he will go ahead and tell, okay, get lost. He will go ahead and give you a departure order. Get lost. Section number 42 says, no conveyance to leave without a written order. Issue of departure order, which is a written order, will be given by the customs to you. Person in charge to permit conveyance to depart only after the customs ka officer goes ahead and gives you a bye-bye order, which is a departure order. Then there is section number 51, which is there. Here we are done with your export procedure. Okay, sir. Now there is section number 51A, which goes ahead and says payment of duty, interest, penalty, etc. Sir, every deposit towards duty, interest, penalty, fees or any other amount, if you have to pay duty, interest, penalty, fees or any other amount, then which is payable under the Custom Act or the Custom Tariff Act, then or any other law, you should first go ahead and deposit in the e-cash ledger. So if I have to pay any duty, interest, penalty, fees or any other amount, first I will go ahead and put it in the e-cash ledger, which is maintained under the customs. So now under customs also they will have an e-cash ledger. You deposit your duty, interest, tax, fees or any other amount. Then use your e-cash ledger to go ahead and pay the duty, interest, penalty, fees or any other amount. It says over here, amount available in the e-cash ledger may be used for making payment towards duty, interest, penalty, fees or any other amount under the Custom Act or Custom Tariff Act or under any other law in prescribed manner and condition and prescribed time limit. As of now, nothing has been prescribed. Balance in e-cash ledger after payment of duty, interest, penalty, fees or any other amount may be refunded. So what they are telling is, sir, we will go ahead and have e-cash ledger under customs also. That is what they are trying to say. But as of now, the rules are yet to be prescribed. Then we have section number 51B. Basically, section number 51B goes ahead and says about e-credit ledger. Sir, if there is ledger for duty credit, which is section number 51B, remission of any duty, tax, levy chargeable on material. So if there is any remission of any duty, tax or any levy which was chargeable on material used in manufacture of goods that are exported. So you went ahead and exported some goods and there is any remission of duty which is to be given by the government to you, or any financial benefit which the government has to go ahead and give it to you. Might be you have to receive some coupons, that is scripts from the government, then all those will be credited to an electronic duty credit ledger which is maintained under the custom automated system. Duty credit may be used by the person. If government has gone ahead and given me duty credit in my credit ledger, I can go ahead and use it to make that payment of my duty, or I can also go ahead and transfer it to someone who can go ahead and use it towards the payment of his duties. It says duty credit may be used by the person to whom it is issued or to the person to whom it is transferred, and you can use it towards the payment of your duties under this act or the Custom Tariff Act. The next one over here is transit and transshipment. Everyone over here now, always remember one thing, everyone. Always remember one thing. Section number 53 and 54 ka case mein, sir, there is transit and transshipment. Section number 52, 53 and 54. Section number 52 is there, which goes ahead and says the provision of this chapter shall not apply to baggage, goods imported by post and store. Sir, in baggage, baggage, goods imported by post and store, section number 53 and 54 is not applicable. Why? Because for baggage, for post and for stores, there are special provisions which are already there. Okay, sir, done. What is section number 53 telling? Sir, for an example, US ports say goods were coming in a ship which is Carnival. Now, what happened? The ship got 4 containers along with itself. 2 containers it unloaded in the Mumbai port. Then, Mumbai port may import duty will be paid only with respect to 2 containers. The remaining 2 containers remained in the same ship and it went to the Kerala port. Then the remaining 2 containers related duty will not be collected by the custom officer in the Mumbai port. This cargo is known as transit cargo, and transit cargo related duty shall be payable only at the destination port where they are unloaded. If the unloading is done outside India, then the duty shall be payable outside India based on the government of that outside country. Everyone over here, goods in transit, for the transportation of goods in the same conveyance is transit. When you are going ahead and doing further transportation in the same conveyance, it is transit. When any goods imported in a conveyance plus mentioned in the arrival manifest, import manifest or import report as for transit within or outside India, the proper officer may allow the goods and conveyance to transit without payment of duty. Same document will continue, means what will happen? This person in charge will go ahead and file an import manifest where he will go ahead and say landing cargo is 2 and transit cargo is 2. So this officer will immediately understand that only 2 cargoes will be unloaded, remaining 2 cargoes will remain in the ship, for which the duty will not be collected by this officer at the Mumbai port. And no new document, means the same import manifest will work for this guy also, and the same import manifest will be sent to the officer at the Kerala port. There will be no 2 import manifest which is there. 1 import manifest will be forwarded, will be filed, and it will be forwarded to the next custom officer. Import duty is always payable on the transit cargo at the destination port or station. At the intermediate port, the transit cargo related duty shall not be payable. The next one over here is transshipment. Same as transit, transshipment may only difference is all the cargoes will be unloaded over here and the remaining cargo which is going to another port will be loaded in a different ship and it will be taken forward. Transshipment is when the ship changes. Sir, over here, US ports say goods were coming in the ship Carnival. The person in charge will file the import manifest or the import report. He will say landing cargo is 2, transshipment cargo is 2. Then the officer over here at the Mumbai port will immediately understand, oh, first 4 cargo will be unloaded. So I should make space for 4 cargo and then duty will be paid by the importer only for 2 cargo. The remaining 2 cargo will be loaded in a separate ship and it will be going further. So, for the Mumbai port, these 2 cargo are transshipment cargo. What do you mean by transshipment, everyone? Goods in transshipment, section number 54, further transportation of goods in other conveyance is transshipment, where any goods imported in a conveyance plus they are mentioned in the arrival manifest, import manifest or import report as for transshipment within or outside India, the proper officer may allow the goods to be transshipped without payment of duty. So, the proper officer over here, he will not go ahead and collect any duty on these goods. He will just give a permission that okay, you can load the goods in a separate ship and take it further. Now, the transshipment cargo, when they are going further, if they go to the Kerala port, the duty with respect to the remaining containers which are unloaded at the Kerala port, the duty will be payable in Kerala. Sir, if they are going outside India, then outside India ka government, let them decide whether they want to collect the duty or don't want to collect the duty. But for loading the transshipment cargo in the new vessel, this officer will go ahead and give you have to file a bill of transshipment. He will go ahead and pass the bill of transshipment. Only then the loading can be done in a different ship. Bill of transshipment shall be presented to the proper officer for the transshipment of goods. Import duty is payable at the destination port or the destination station. There is something called a declaration of transshipment also. What is a declaration of transshipment? If Indian government has an international treaty with the Sri Lankan government, or Indian government has a bilateral agreement with the Sri Lankan government, then Baba, instead of bill of transshipment being presented to this guy, a declaration of transshipment is enough. There is no requirement of bill of transshipment, just a declaration is enough. What is a declaration? Sir, a declaration of transshipment when goods are being transshipped under international treaty or a bilateral agreement. So Indian government and Sri Lankan government has a bilateral agreement. If India's goods are going to Sri Lanka, then Baba, at the Indian port, bill of transshipment will not be required, because Indian government and the Sri Lankan government has a treaty, and hence only a declaration instead of the bill of transshipment shall be presented to the proper officer. You can just present a declaration. Presenting a declaration, that is enough. You can go ahead and transship your goods further. Here we are done with a quick revision of importation, exportation, transit and transshipment, everyone.